up across the board. I do always like the phase rush here on the Orianna. It just gives you that extra level of survivability that can be really helpful.
Top side starts here for Tarzan and Kanavi. Early skirmishing advantage is going to go over towards Kanavi. Mid lane is going to be kind of null. Can look to bottom lane for any really early action going. But even then, Sivir is kind of just such a neutralizing lane by this point. It's going to be a lot on the junglers to get any early action rolling. And got to highlight that it's mostly Tarzan, because Kanavi, even though he's probably the most early game-minded champion, hold on, we are just slugging at bottom lane. They flash on top of Hope to get the knock of the Ignite over onto JackeyLove. The 5th proc of the Kai'Sa passive does get a ton of damage onto JackeyLove. The heal is going to come out. Kael's a bit too far forward, though, but Hope has the full lethal tempo stacked. Both ADs have lethal tempo fully stacked. And nobody really ends up flashing outside of Hong.
Still, JackeyLove and Hung, they're going to be able to get themselves nice control over this wave, get to level 2 first, which is not usually something you would expect out of an Alistar Sivir lane. They would be getting pushed around in a lot of people's estimations, but you do outrange onto this Kai'Sa just a little bit, and it can make it quite tricky getting through this level 1 that's always so rough for an Alistar. Going to feel very good for JackeyLove and Hung, and they were key parts of that victory that TES were able to pick up in that first game. Push coming on through. Both junglers will be working their way down towards the bottom side of the map, so you are going to feel pretty empowered to step up here as JackeyLove if you want to keep pressure up.
Seems like what Hong may be about, but that deep ward does give an inkling of an idea that this is a death brush brewing. And Kyle and Hope will walk towards their tri-brush. Hope looking for a reset already. I think it's a bit too early for them to be able to swap up topside, so yeah, they're just going to have to work their way back bot, and I say, likely dropping a wave here with the wave clear that JackeyLove brings. Oh, no. All right. Hope is homeless. I don't know where he's going level 2.
I don't know. He knows where he's going. You know, you can see him stepping around like, where we heading right now? He's going to go up towards the top side of the map. The lane swaps.
Oh, Tarzan walked right past Kanavi, who went into the river. The Graviton well not going to be stunned because the Trickster is used very efficiently. But with Kanavi covering, Cream able to hold on to his flash.
Yeah, that is key, right? Losing your flash early on right here as Cream puts you in a real hole. It makes it so uncomfortable. Hang on, Shanks just can walk at him.
Hello?
Maybe he feels safe with Hong and Kanavi here, but he is way too low. Kanavi, though, with the skirmishing power like we talked about early, is slugging out with Tarzan, but he's buying time for Hope, who we thought was homeless, but maybe found a way to fight his way in here. Tarzan flashes away from Kanavi. One more on from Hope. Grabs first blood over to AL. Cream flashes over the red buff pit, and now Hong, flashless himself, is likely to surrender the 2nd kill over to Hope.
There we go. Yeah, we were talking about how it looked real rough for Hope. He didn't really know where to put himself, but getting those 2 kills early is going to be critical. This is a early game composition than TES have. Getting the early
xin chào anh em nhé. Chúng ta cùng
đến
với trận đấu giữa TOP Sport và Anyone Legend. Hiện tại thì đang ở phút thi đấu thứ 4 và tỷ số mạng là 2-0 cho Anyone Legend.
It's so funny how things work out sometimes. We thought Hope was in such a terrible spot. He was going to be dropping multiple waves, walking up top, and then comes back down and just gets rewarded with a double kill. And now is 500 gold up over JackeyLove, who booted him out of lane at level 2. Shanks now, the target of a
pha tấn công của Top Esports ở bên trên thực hiện đổi đường Top Esports và đường mid của Animal Legend cũng đã chuyển lên trên cánh trên. Ở khu vực đường dưới thì cuộc thi đấu giữa hai đối thủ khá là trâu.
That is part of the point of the Orianna, right? Is just to be able to absorb as much pressure as possible. You've only got a couple of lane matchups that you particularly get killed in, and Cream didn't want to go towards something extra aggressive right here, and so he just has to survive. Hung just going to use the Hex Flash away. A little bit of extra style points right now. Both junglers are towards the bottom side of the map. We do also have a Hextech Drake as our first Drake. We do get our nice shiny graphics back as well to track those through. Hextech Drake individually, super nice to be able to grab. I would like to see both of these teams put a little bit of extra
Victor của Top Esports. Đường trên thì Sivir.
Both junglers on that bot side, but it's actually Tarzan that does need a reset. He hasn't bought
Kai'Sa của bên phía Animal Legend, tuy nhiên hai mạng cũng mang lợi thế rất nhiều cho Kai'Sa. Một pha giữ chân của
the double onslaught is up for Flandre. That ult is clutching, getting
Top Esports đã nằm xuống.
Kill. 3 for 3 from the field, and feats of warfare unlocked for AL.
Yeah, Feet's entirely picked up by Hope. He is rolling on this one. And I did really like the composition from AL coming in. What I did not expect was the Kai'Sa to get super far ahead right at the very beginning of the game. They're also now going to be able to press on forward. Tarzan empowered because of that bot lane pressure to start up this Hextech Drake. Gonna be nice and easy to grab this one. Kanavi heads up towards the top side of the map, but there's not really anything he can do. Maybe if you get a real big push going, you can try for a dive onto Flandre as your cross-map play, but I really don't see that one coming to any fruition. Yeah.
He's got flash and he's Sion. So yeah, that's.
Hope and pray
the most detrimental factor of it.
Yeah, it would be really, really rough to do, but it just shows there's
Sion đang cho thấy độ trâu của mình khi sẵn sàng đứng lên rất cao dưới sức ép của cặp đôi.
He's dangy, he's
Sion. Đôi xạ thủ hỗ trợ của Top Esports. Xin ra lại đi lạc rồi. Rất may là pha vừa rồi thì các đội xạ thủ hỗ trợ của Top Esports đã gây sức ép lên phía Sion nên tạo ra cho Xin Giao đường đi về.
Flandre, be careful walking up this far. I'm not going to fall for this again though. He's too tanky. He is going to get chunked a bit. His TP isn't up just yet for those grubs. The more intriguing matchup is on the bot side because 369 with Flash and Feast up. Well, he doesn't have Feast up just yet. 10 seconds though. He can, if he gets a rupture, Hope is dead.
Yes,
Hope
absolutely.
Will die instantly. So he's being really careful.
Anh em có thể vào cho mình.
That's the thing, right? Like, as much as you have managed to get a good early advantage right here onto your Kai'Sa, and we'd love to see it, and Hope has been playing pretty well.
Thì mặc dù Animal Legends đang có một chút lợi thế so với cả Top Esports, nhưng mà không quá là lợi thế.
You're still Kai'Sa, you're still squishy, you still have to play up into a couple of champions that can just rip your head off, right? The Jin Zhao and the Cho'Gath, they get access to you, you will die very, very quickly.
Tuy nhiên, lại một pha bắn lẻ rồi.
No unbreakable will. Doesn't have that ult. Kyle had his depth charge. Heal, flash, all of it has to go on cooldown to survive, and that should signal the demise of these grubs. Tarzan going to start them up first, and the way Kanavi's pathing, he is going to be surrendering both early neutral objectives.
Sion sử dụng chiêu cuối để đâm thẳng vào cho Gat. Đây rõ ràng là một pha sử dụng cuối để ra đường nhanh hơn mà thôi. Ngoài ra thì cấu thêm một chút máu.
What can they do to stem
the
bleeding and stop this game from getting out of hand? Because they do have a composition that scales really well into the late game. If you can get far enough into this game, your Sivir and your Victor are going to be doing so much damage, but you just need to stop the game accelerating out of control for you.
Một pha giao tranh lớn chăng? Wukong
Công
đã lao vào trước. Xin Giao làm gì? Xin Giao sử dụng cuối của mình để văng hai đối thủ ra. Tuy nhiên, liệu đó có phải là quyết định sáng suốt? Một đôi tiếp tục là bàn tấn công. Xin Giao không thể nào
Still really head scratching that Tarzan wanted that fight so badly that he doesn't get AL3 grubs for the moment.
Yeah, he's going to have to come back out from the fountain and go and grab it again, which is not ideal. Not just specifically because, you know, you would like all three grubs, but also all of his camps are on the bottom side of the map. He's got no incentive to walk topside right now. He wants to go get Cam's bottom lane, and that's just going to leave this one open. This is going to be especially rough if 369 ends up getting a nom-stack as well.
Combo nghiền nát tốc biến, combo nghiền nát. Đã hất tung được một pha tốc biến của Kai'Sa. Vào đi về an toàn.
Yeah, alright, so it's just going to be the one grub still sat there, still remaining. TES will be well aware that it is in the area, that they can go and grab it. They step up. Interestingly, 369, he just wants his stack right now, wants to be getting this one back off of cooldown as quickly as possible. Hope losing that flash could be really important, right? Obviously, Kai'Sa is one of the more mobile
elements in the game,
especially with that ulti available to him now. Still, you do want to have the flash for the reposition. As you've been mentioning, the rupture is going to be so tricky to try to get away from, in and amongst a big, messy team fight especially.
Pha móc nhưng nó tới lớp, giữ chân lại được to. Không có thêm đam trồng theo và Xin Giao đã lộ diện bắt buộc cặp đôi của Enos phải rút lui. Và đường trên chúng ta đang có pha giao tranh tiếp tục bắt vào Kai'Sa. Phần ra quay về sự xuất hiện của Wukong. Ở đường dưới Sion đã hạ gục Sivir của Top Esports trong pha solo kill. Khá là bất ngờ. Chúng ta tập trung hết ở trên cánh trên thì ở phía dưới Sivir bất ngờ nằm xuống.
Jackie is going to be the one to fall. That's still going to open up all three of these grubs over to AL, alongside that first Drake that they were able to grab. It's a King's Ransom in a situation in which it felt like it should not have been. As you said, right, without that upgraded in, you don't really get to get that far away. We'll have a look back at what ends up happening. Okay, that's an early spell shield. That was, but...
It's just ult him?
Tiếp tục là pha làm chậm, và lần này làm choáng hoàn toàn chính xác.
Off the knock-up? Does he even...
He just works him
Alright, there we
down.
go.
Không tốc biến, có tốc biến,
Doesn't...
nhưng không kịp tốc biến.
That's with Flash as well. That's with Flash, but Jackie
pha tiết kiệm tốc biến hơi bị thừa thãi của Sylvia khi để làm phương mạng.
As well, so he's now in a very strong spot. And yes, as much as the Cho'Gath is a pretty big counter into the sign itself, everybody's been lane swapping away from it. There's no real way that Flandra has been put under a lot of pressure, and the fact he then gets that solo kill too is going to make this sign incredibly scary going on forward.
But AL need to keep the pedal in the metal, because a 2K gold lead, if this game continues to shift later and later, is not going to cut it to compete with a Sivir and a Victor. Yes, they are very far away. These champions are not going to be Exodia level until 3-4 items, but TES is so good in those late
Wukong
game
cũng đang
stages
trên đường
that
tiếp cận.
any lead doesn't really feel safe
Oriana ra
right
trước, liệu có kịp
Absolutely not, and it's
tham
worth
gia vào
mentioning, right,
pha
that these champions do still
pha
hurt.
giết rồng này
Even
không?
at this point, you can see Cream
Có.
is going to be coming through if he drops
AL
the ulti. He
cho
can
thấy
do
quyết tâm
work
của
in
họ
this one.
không muốn bỏ con rồng này.
Gotta respect the Cyclone
con rồng
Shockwave
nước.
combo from Tarzan and Shanks, who are on
Combo
the Dragon
của
right now.
Alistar.
Kyle is gonna flash
Được
back
rồi.
ahead with Pulverize. Kanavi's
My
going in
fight.
with the Crescent Guard, and he's
Và
gonna
combo
steal
rồng
away
thuộc về
the
cho top
Dragon.
eSports và
Tarzan low,
Wukong
but he
lao
sets
vào
up the
một cú
Shockwave. Feast
xoắn
is
tròn
up
rất
for
tốt
the
của
taking.
Oriana.
The 369 not close enough to chop
1-1.
down on it. All hope is free, hitting with the lethal tempo.
Nhưng
As Jack
TES
and Cream
đang bị
have to
đuổi.
fight
Oriana đã
it back
combo và
and
Sylvia nằm
run for
xuống.
the high hills here.
Tiếp tục.
Graviton gonna
Victor.
stun up Kyle, and Hong able to slip on
Như vậy
out.
là pha
But
giao tranh.
AL make sure it's a
Hai bạn
price
đổi
to
một
pay for
dành
that
cho
Dragon Steal.
AL.
Yeah, you give over the dragon, not going to be
TES
ideal.
đã có
And
rồng
Hope
nhưng
did
mà
spend the
AL
majority of that fight
có
just
được lợi thế
hitting
một mạng.
onto an ultied up Hong, which is why he wasn't going down
Đường
in
tiền
that
dẫn trước
situation.
là
It's part
3.000
of
ở
why
phút thứ
AL
13.
don't pick up all of the kills they
Tương
would
đối
have otherwise
là
wanted. Still though,
đau
we
đầu,
now
đặc biệt
managed to get a
là
couple of kills
số
onto
lượng tiền
Shanks,
tập
so
trung
he's
vào
going to
vị
be
trí
put
của
in a very strong
Kaisa
spot, even with that stacking
rất
rower.
mạnh.
It's going to give him that later game
Bắt đầu
power
cảm
as
thấy
well.
khó cho TES.
Have a look back at this one, because I was watching the Drake to see who steals this one away. Hung goes in. Wait, that's a hook. That's a hook of all time that lands back onto Hung, and yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? As much as you do have some damage available to you right now as these TES members, it's not as much, right? You need to be landing it onto concentrate.
Tiếp tục là có pha giao tranh ở phía sông, khu vực hang rồng.
Engaged
Wukong
upon,
đã bị làm choáng.
turns it like he
Số lượng
always
người
does.
của
Kyle
AL
waiting
đấy là
in the
đông
wings,
hơn.
Hope
Xin
doesn't
dần
have
hy
that
sinh
killer
chăng?
instinct to dash
Sylvia
across the fight, but is
tung một
needed.
quy vào thẳng cái
Another
bóng của
great
Wukong.
bait from Tarzan. He's
Quá
never
đáng tiếc.
truly out of position.
Và sự
Not
trả
on this
giá là
Wukong,
cái
not
mạng
when
của
you've got
Xin
so many dashes.
Nó
and
thì
the
đã
clone
tiếp
to
tục
be
tiếp
able
cận
to
vào Sylvia.
absorb a lot of the pressure for you, and now with Kanavi going down, you've got yourself the Herald
đơn
spawning
giản.
in 30 seconds time. It gives you easy access to the enemy jungle, and a nice reset can come on through as well. First items completed pretty much across the board.
Gần
The
4.000
second
tiền
items
đã
are
cách
going to
rồi.
be well on the way for a couple of these key carries. Both
Vậy
Shanks
xem
and
lại
Hope should
pha
not be far
combo
away from
của
being able to
Alistar
make it to
vào
that break
Wukong.
point.
Rõ ràng là đấy là một quyết
This
định
game
hoàn
has
toàn
been
không sáng
just
suốt chút nào.
So clinical from AL right now.
Oriana đang
Trying to
bảo
make a statement
đường
that
dưới.
they are not a
Có thể
team to
sẽ
get
mang
pushed
về chủ đầu
over,
tiên
not a
cho
team to be knocked
AL.
down from a game one exit.
họ sẽ có
Even at 2-2, they have been
ít xung đột.
pretty competitive in the best of 3 scenario set.
Yeah.
It's going to be a turret knockdown here for Shanks, so they're able to claim that one. Didn't even need that for feats of strength, though. That's just how ahead AL is of the 8-ball that is this game, too, right now.
Absolutely, and I mean, as we watch this game through, you've got to keep in mind what it means for the overall standings, what it means for these teams going on forwards. Go around robin between 8 teams means that we've still got plenty of games left to play. For TES specifically, this is going to be their 7th game of the season so far. They are getting pretty close to getting their way through all of these teams at least once.
Một lần nữa AL lại đang tiếp cận vào mục tiêu lớn là con sợi nhất, nhưng không, họ đang đổi ý định tấn công băng trụ vào vị trí của Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath hoàn toàn tầm nhìn quyết định ở lại.
But it's too late because the wave gets in and the knock-up sing through. Hope grabs himself another kill. This is what makes AL one of the deadliest teams in the LPL. You give them a lead, they will take every fight, every neutral. really just everything off the map they can.
They're not slowing down at all. They know that this composition works at its absolute peak once you get about 2 items into people. They're just going to keep on rolling through with this one right here. Like I said, a bit of a weird little couple situation still. TES now going to go for another engage. Kyle, he's caught out here.
Flandra's TPing in. He is very tanky on this Scion by this point. He is pretty comfortable standing up tall to all of them. Well, not going to get a lot of value. Kanavi is the first one to be turned down by Flandra. Arcane Storm comes out. There's a lot of distance created right now by TS's comp. 369 does hit the rupture onto Kyle in the back. He's looking to face down, and he gets Flandra picked off. Boom! Kyle goes down next. Hits 3 from Shakes. Can Flandra get in towards Navi's how far? No, but Hope can. Killer Instinct across the fight. Does find Kanavi. But TS are still 4 versus 3. Tarzan dipping in and out with that Wukong, using the Trickster well.
Lợi thế về người vẫn đang nghiêng về phía Toby Sport, tuy nhiên cho các lui về để phòng thủ.
AL with the inside track towards the mid-tier 1 turret that'll go for it. Cream is going to TP all the way over top to cover for it. And now nobody wants the Herald.
Yeah, this should open up the Heralds to be another fight. We can do this all again. Isn't that exciting, Slayer? Yeah, it's a really messy fight right there where it looks like a couple of different people get caught out. Right at the start, I thought that Kyle was going to be caught, but the TP stops all of this aggression in its tracks from TS. They no longer can just keep on stepping up. But watch Cream in this fight. He actually plays this one out really well. The Graviton well just gets in between everybody and kind of cuts off a few members from actually being able to step up. And then again, his Arcane Storm being chucked down, it doesn't actually do too much damage for him, but it still just ends up so many people away, and it's a war of attrition at this point, and the punch is just stronger between Jackie Love and Cream. As this game keeps on going through, that's going to get harder and harder to deal with. Big Shockwave is kind of the redeeming quality. It gets Hope that kill with the Killer Instinct, but it doesn't rectify the fact that that fight, despite the fact AL are really far ahead,
vẫn có thể quay trở lại với trận đấu.
There'll be something to revisit when the next fight breaks out, but I do like TES willing to give away some of these neutrals. Third Drake when it's 1-1, doesn't matter. Mountain Soul, a problem for a future TES. Right now, they just need to take as much standing gold as they can off the map to get to these bigger item breakpoints of their scaling composition.
Pha macro để lấy đi trụ đầu tiên ở đường giữa của Toby Sport. AL đã vươn lên giành dẫn tỷ số 3-1 về trụ. Họ đã bóc hết toàn bộ lớp trụ ngoài của Toby Sport. Một pha tấn công vào xứ giả cái đất. Có vẻ như Toby Sport quyết định bỏ pha này. Nhưng mà tất cả các thành viên của Toby Sport đều di chuyển khá xa. Dịch chuyển hàng rồng ra. Pha dịch chuyển của Alistar để kiểm soát tầm nhìn trước khi con rồng 49 giây nữa sẽ có mặt trên bản đồ. Sẽ là một mục tiêu cạnh tranh tiếp theo của hai đội.
They've got quite a lot of CC, so if you can just chuck that massive Arcane Storm down on top of everyone's heads, that's going to be team fights made a heck of a lot easier.
For a player like Cream, who we were asking really the most of the CS roster, right now, after the last 2 series, he's been shaky to outclass versus Knight. 3-0-1 on the Victor. The Azir was good. He can be... we all know what form Cream can bring here, and if he can do it up against Shanks, up against AL, can really silence a lot of the doubters that have been prevalent, including myself, on even this broadcast, as Flandra has to burn that critical engage ultimate just to create enough space away from TES. Now spawning on the bot side.
Nên các thành viên của Toby Sport đứng giữa. Con rồng khá quan trọng. Vì vậy hai đội đang cạnh tranh nhau. Toby Sport đang mất rất nhiều lợi thế về tầm nhìn ở khu vực hang rồng. Họ đang phải đưa mặt ra để chống đỡ và tìm lấy tầm nhìn. AL đang đứng ở trong chặng 3. Một pha tia chết chóc của Victor phát hiện ra và hất tung của Cho'Gath không mang lại hiệu quả. Wukong đã lòn ở phía trên. Pha vừa khá tốt của Nautilus, tuy nhiên đây là pha phản công lại của Toby Sport. Toby Sport đang có vị trí đứng khá tốt, tuy nhiên Cho'Gath đã không đủ trâu để có thể tanh lại được sức sát thương từ tất cả đội hình của AL, vì vậy đã phải nằm xuống.
but they don't have control of that same jungle. It's so dark and
Nautilus ở dạng rất thấp máu nhưng vẫn có thể thoát về. Và con rồng là phần thưởng dành cho AL. Tuy nhiên họ vẫn không quyết định tiến vào rồng mà muốn lấy cái trụ thứ hai ở đường giữa. Và macro khá là tốt, Hope tiến vào và lấy đi cái trụ thứ hai.
Thousand gold in this game, Slayer. They have a monumental lead.
But still, I feel like
6.000 vàng ở phút thứ 21 xem ra có vẻ rất khó cho Top Esports ở trận đấu này rồi, ở game đấu này rồi. Và bắt thẳng vào vị trí của Xin Giao. Nhưng người cuối cùng nằm lại là cho Gat. Rõ ràng là sát thương sốc ban đầu của Top Esports là khá tốt, tuy nhiên lại họ lại chia sát thương vào nhiều mục tiêu đến việc không thể kết liễu nhanh một thành viên nào ở bên AL. Cuối cùng là cho Gat để bỏ lại mạng. Đây là một pha combat tiếp theo. Cho Gat lại bị bắt. Một pha chiêu cuối của Nautilus hất tung hai người. Cú đam rất lớn từ cú cắn của cho Gat. Xin Giao không hiểu sao. Một pha xử lý hoàn toàn không quyết đoán của Xin Giao, khi đi về thì đi, còn nếu đánh thì lao vào. Cứ ngập ngừng ở giữa và cuối cùng thì phải bỏ lại mạng. Và Atakhan dành cho AL. Và chắc chắn sẽ là thêm một con rồng miễn phí. 3 rồng dành cho AL. 7.500 tiền. 3.800 dương tiền từ vị trí của Kaisa so với Sivir. Khó lắm rồi. Hai đồ, gần như là 3 đồ, có thể xem như 3 đồ từ Kaisa. Và lần này khi mà về có thể cô sẽ vác ra 4 đồ. Một giày nâng cấp.
TES here, I think they still just have to turtle pretty hard. Mountain Soul
Không,
Point,
vẫn chỉ 3 đồ.
Một
giày nâng cấp.
Got a 2.5 item Sivir, soon to be 3 from Jackie Love. Cream, I think will be pretty close to that mark as well. These two are just not at the point where they can defy the gold deficit.
No, it feels like they need more time. They need this game to get to 40 minutes, which it's not impossible. That's still another 17 more minutes into this game. And so far, AL have got complete and utter control of this one. They're going to be able to pick themselves up their third dragon of the game. Soul Point, Mountain Soul Point as well. If you thought this sign was annoying to try to get through before, having a Mountain Soul Point is going to make it that much harder. You've also now hit a couple more key item breakpoints. 2 items completed onto the majority of these carries. 3 items now completed for Hope. If he ever actually is allowed to just sit and hit with that Terminus inhibitor, he's going to be doing so much work.
And Hope understood the assignment in this game, and we saw it earlier already without 369 was, well, his health bar was melted. It's because of how Hope has built this Kaisa out. The champion that is known for multitude of build paths, so many items that can be utilized. But I'd like to see this front-to-back style. The Terminus really sings it through, right? You just stack offensive, defensive stats, the more autos you get down. And Hope, I mean, he could get so many into that Cho'Gath. Supple onslaught coming out here from Flandra, trying to go after Cream. This is pretty, passes his driving test pretty well. But Cream and Hong were in position to get out, but the Void Seeker does hit onto Cream, and Hope immediately pulls the Killer Instinct, go after him. The Graviton Arcane Storm, not enough, because AL had a bead on this bottom lane, as all 5 members show out and knock down Cream.
This is what we've been talking about, right? Cream has not been having the best time of it on a ton of these other carries. Yes, he's looked really good on 1 or 2 things. There's a
Bóc công trình chủ 3 đường dưới sẽ tạo ra rất nhiều lợi thế để có thể tiếp cận vào con Baron. Hiện xuất hiện trên bản đồ. Quá nhiều lợi thế rồi. Game này mà có Canavi đang đứng rình ở trong bụi gần hang Baron. Hy vọng là AL sẽ tiến ra Baron vào một cú cấp thân thánh chăng? Nhưng không, trước đó thì Alistar đã bị bắt lẻ. Liệu có phải nằm lại? Một pha soạt của Orianna giữ chân lại và tiêu diệt Alistar. Quá khó. Các răng đang lòn ở phía sâu trong rừng. Họ muốn tiếp tục bắt lẻ để đảm bảo con Baron 100% thuộc về AL. Dao
Try
phá
and
mắt.
keep the vision up. You can see how dark the
Một
pit
con
is
mắt bị
for
cắm xuống.
Kanavi. They're just going to jump onto
Một pha
Kyle,
bắt
but
vào vị
Fondra's
trí
going to
trên
flash
đất.
over the wall. Tarzan can follow the
Ồ,
trickster
pha
pretty
làm choáng
shortly.
rất tốt
The
nhưng
TP into the pit for 369 is
sát
a bit
thương và
audacious.
sức
He gets the
chịu
knock
quá
up on the
mạnh của
Tarzan, but
Saiyan,
again,
trong khi đó
looking
cho
home
Gat.
just to lead the
Cho
help
Gat
bar. Yeah,
đã.
sure, feast on
Ôi,
our
một pha
support.
tiêu
It
diệt
doesn't
và
matter.
bị
He's
hỗ trợ
willing
của
to
cho Gat á.
sacrifice himself because you've getting rid of all your front line,
Tiếp
and that
tục
means
là pha
Hope
băng lên
gets
của
to break the
Kaisa.
door down,
Quá
flying
khó.
after your carries.
Kaisa đánh cho
AL
thấy sức mạnh của việc
clinical,
vươn tiền là như thế
looking to
nào.
force this series the distance.
Một con Baron và thêm 4 vạn khuyến mại dành cho AL. Chính thức vượt qua mốc 10.000 tiền.
Look to crack open these towers. They've still got outer towers in the top and the bottom side to go for. Hong also just going to dive. That's going to be the ace coming through as well.
He had smite. I respect the hustle. He's like, all right, maybe there's a chance. Right? Yeah.
I've seen crazier things, I have, but not in this game. Not when AL have put themselves into such a massive advantage. And you were right to point out earlier on that it didn't feel like it was a 7k gold lead. Well, this fight, this felt like the 10k gold lead that we do have on our screens right now. Karnavi, the second that the Crescent Guard falls off, there's nothing he can do. And despite the fact that Jackie Love and Cream are just sat there trying to pump out the damage with no front line, there's absolutely nothing you can do. And I love the aggression from Hope once again. Hey, I can get into the back line right here. Goes flying on in. This team, when you give them the sort of composition that can play early game, they are just running through you. I mean, right now with 2 carries on 5
quá nhiều lợi thế.
and a bunch. This is insane.
12.000 tiền.
Here comes the big buzz.
Flandre bục thẳng vào đội hình của TES Toby Sport. Một pha kháng cự của Toby Sport. Nhưng vẫn là pha tốc biến sang bên phía kia tường của Xanh và
Hope with an instant triple kill. Jackie Love cowering back towards his fountain, but this should be the final push. A devious response out of anyone's legend to force this series to game 3.
And this is what we wanted when we came into today, right? The Group Nirvana game was a warm-up for AL, TES, these two teams who are fighting for the top of the table, who want a chance at winning it all and sending themselves to Worlds. Hope.
Oh, Hope, they're already dead, man. Just doing laps around this team right now. And hey, why not another dredge line? Why not another kill? 27 in 28 minutes in the win for AL.
Một chiến thắng tương đối là dễ dàng. Chúng ta sẽ có game 3.
What do they do? Does like an LPL stage get like shorter cooldowns?
Mà thôi, hôm nay mình chỉ test luồng live vậy thôi. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại mọi người. Rất hy vọng lần live sau sẽ có được sự ủng hộ của mọi người. Cảm ơn và chào tất cả.